lot of things have happened. May 22nd, Tokyo Skytree opens to the public 2012, May 22nd. It's a broadcasting observation tower in Sumida, Tokyo, Japan. The tallest tower in the world. It beats the Canton Tower, second tallest man-made structure on Earth, after the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world since 2009, but the Tokyo Skytree is the second tallest, right behind it, and it was unveiled 2012, 8 years ago, from May 22nd, 2028. 1964, LBJ launches the Great Society program. 1906, the Wright brothers get their patent number 821393 for their flying machine. Patent 821,393 for their flying machine. So the Wright brothers get a patent for the airplane. LBJ launching the Great Society. Tokyo Skytree is being built. 1783. William Sturgeon, an English physicist and inventor, he invented the electromagnet and the electric motor. He is born. William Sturgeon is born 1783, May 22nd. 1905, Bodo von Borries, a German physicist who co-invented the electron microscope, is born May 22nd, 1905. 1984, Dustin Moskovitz, entrepreneur, co-founded Facebook, is born May 22nd. Dustin, who even talks about Dustin Moskovitz of Facebook? 1990, Microsoft releases Windows 3.0. 2017, the Japanese researchers from the University of Yamanashi report the birth of mice born on Earth from freeze-dried sperm stored on the ISS, the International Space Station. So, yeah, all that happened May 22nd. I want to make a comment about the Western Christian calendar. Before I thought, we don't have a reliable measurement of time, right? It's the Western Christian. We don't know if Jesus exists. The whole calendar is going to be based upon a person. We don't even know about the historicity. So the Gregorian calendar is going to be changed October 1582. This is important because when we say May 1st or whatever and we say the year, we actually could be about 10 days off if it's before 1582. After October 1582, you can be 100% sure that, this thing happened January 17th, 1601. That happened the same day that we think of the days because we use the Gregorian calendar. Before 1582, it was the Julian calendar. But the Julian calendar, it was proposed by Julius Caesar himself, 46 BC, major reform of the old Roman calendar, and it was designed with the help of Greek mathematicians and Greek astronomers, such as Sosigenes of Alexandria. So we know that the Sosigenes of Alexandria helped to design the Julian calendar with the leap years and, using the time, the stuff that they knew. It was slightly off than the Gregorian. They went ahead and fixed it in 1582. So we actually have a pretty decent, reliable calendar, a time standard, a system of, time, measurement of time for over 2,000 years. The Julian calendar was proposed, I want to say 46 BC, and then 45 BC it came into action. So for over 2,060 years, we've had a reliable measurement of time. So the way that they changed it, the Gregorian, so in October 4th, 1582, when it went from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, they had, October 4th, the next day was October 15th. So in the year 1582, if anybody says that something happened October 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th or 9th or 10th or 11th or 12th or 13th or 14th, and they say 1582, they are lying to you. Oh, you did that thing October 11th, 1582? Yeah, and you went on the 13th floor of that hotel too, didn't you? There is no such thing as October 11th, 1582. So the Julian calendar, right, there is such a thing, but with the Gregorian calendar, they deleted those 11 days. So it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So we know 100% after 1582, anything before 1582, all the way back to 45 BC, we know that we're within 10 to 11 days of the thing that happened. So maybe it wasn't exactly May 8th, 546, but it might have been May 20th. So it's in the ballpark. The shit happened, right? So that's good. I used to question, everything, including the calendars, but we actually have a reliable dating system with the Christian, Julian, Gregorian, Western calendar since 46 BC. So for 2,066 years. Okay. May 22nd, 1803, the first public library opens in Connecticut. 1992, Johnny Carson's Final Tonight Show airs. And May 22nd, 1892, Dr. Washington Sheffield invents the toothpaste tube. Where would we be without the toothpaste tube? 1897, the Black Wall Tunnel in London under the Thames River is officially opened. In 192 AD, you had the warlord general Dong Zhuo is assassinated by his bodyguard Lu Bu. So his adopted son is going to kill him, right? How treacherous. That's such a great betrayal. But it's not. It's actually great, wonderful, fantastic news. So the warlord general Dong Zhuo, this Dong Zhuo, so old Dong, right? This old warlord general Dong. Well, old Dong was a criminal. He's a terrorist. He's a torturous, low-life fuck. He's a piece of shit for sure. But it's a piece of shit that doesn't deserve life. Dong Zhuo deserved exactly what he got. So Lu Bu is also known as the Flying General because Lu Bu is a badass. Lu Bu's good at archery. He's good at horseback riding. He possesses great physical strength. Lu Bu is a man with personal physical power over men. He's a man's man. Lu Bu is a man's man. Lu Bu's horse was Red Hair, named Red Hair or She Too because of his quick speed. So Lu Bu is a hero to mankind. Lu Bu was a flying general because he had She Too, because of his steed, because of red hair. Now, Dong Zhuo, the terrible, he's a warlord. And he's a terrible, criminal, bloody Zhongying. Who gives a Dong? Old fucking Dong. So Dong lived in the late Eastern Han Dynasty of China. The first Emperor Ling of Han dies. Then this is just a chain of events, not the first emperor, but the first thing that happens creates a vacuum, right? This emperor, the Ling of Han, he dies, and his enemies massacre a bunch of the Emperor Ling of Han's eunuch followers. So Ling of Han dies, and they kill all of his eunuch followers. Now you got this power vacuum. Li Yubian, the Emperor Shao, he takes power. But Dong, he didn't want that, so he takes power away from Liu Bian. Emperor Shao coup d'etat him, replaced him with his own puppet, Emperor Xian of Han, a.k.a. Bohe. So Dong, he's a warlord, he's a general, and he helps to install Emperor Xian. Now Dong is going to die, but Emperor Xian actually goes on to reign for another 30 years. So Dong's influence carries on. But Dong himself, Dong Zhuo's warlord rule under Xian of Han was brief and it was cruel and it's tyrannical. So Lu Bu killed him, but it was the interior ministers Wang Yun and Shi Sun. So Wang Yun and Shi Sun, Wang Yun, who constructed the plan. So Wang Yun and Shi Sun goes up to Lu Bu, and Lu Bu says, okay. Now, the reason why, there's several reasons. Not only is he a piece of shit, right? He's a murderous piece of shit. He's killing thousands of public servants wrongly accused and killed. He's not just killing the people in the government, he's killing regular common people too, kidnapping and killing the commoners. He also created a crap copper coin, devalued all other copper coins, so as an economist, nobody should accept that bullshit. But you're actually going to have Dong Zhuo is going to try to kill Lu Bu first. So Lu Bu is not without, any fault or without any reason. Dong Zhuo threw a hand axe. He threw an axe at Lu Bu, who tried to kill him, but Lu Bu dodged it. So even though Lu Bu and Dong Zhuo, they were like father and son, Lu Bu was actually his bodyguard. So it's not father and son. He just says Dong Zhuo was using Lu Bu as his son, right? Of course you'd have a nice, loyal son. Who wouldn't want a nice, loyal son? But again, after that one argument, Dong Zhuo throws an axe at Lu Bu, right? Dong Zhuo tried to kill him. And then Lu Bu was also fucking one of Dong Zhuo's mistresses. So there's a love triangle that could have had something to do with all this. But Dong Zuo, he's not just killing thousands of people in the government, thousands of people on the streets, but he's actually going to throw big parties where he takes the limbs of his captured enemies, and he's severing the limbs, cutting off their arms, cutting off their legs, removing their tongues and eyeballs, basically cutting everything off of them, burning them alive, cutting out eyeballs, tongues, arms, legs, burning them alive. His audience were not enjoying it. His audience were uncomfortable, but that's just what Dong Zuo wanted them to be. He wasn't just mean, he was bloody mean. He has blood on his hands, killed many people, thousands of innocents, and he tortured them. He loved to torture them in front of everybody. Numbers fucked up mass shooters could only dream of. So Lu Bu and Dong Zuo were like father and son, they say, but not really. They're fucking, the same woman. They're, throwing hand axes at each other. They're a bunch of generals and people in positions of power, right? They're players. So, for whatever reason, one glorious, bright morning, Lu Bu woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to depose of this greedy, shitty, criminal, bloody piece of shit warmonger. Lu Bu greeted Dong Zuo at his own palace gate. Hey, Dong, how you doing, Dong? Said Lu Bu. But he also had a dozen trusted men, which were being led by cavalry captain Li Su. Li Su stepped forward, and he stabbed Dong Zuo. And then Dong Zuo cries out to Lu Bu, but Lu Bu didn't give a fuck. Lu Bu declared, this is an imperial order. This is an imperial order. Then Lu Bu snuffed Dong out with a fatal blow, either in the head or the heart. The fatal blow came from Lu Bu. He didn't give a goddamn fuck. Dong says, please, Lu Bu, help me. Help you now. You try to throw an axe at my head. And so afterwards, you had Dong Zuo Hoi. His corpse is left in the middle of the streets with a lit wick placed in his navel. And Dong was so fat that the lit wick, the candle, is going to burn for several days off of his fat. It burned for 8 crazy days. And it was burned brighter than the sun. That might all be myth just to, shit on Dong, but he was a fat man, and he was so fat a candle was able to use his fat to keep on burning for 8 crazy anyways. So, an order was given for nobody to touch the Dong Zuo's body. 3 officials did, and they were killed because of it. So, whoever, Lu Bu said nobody touches his body. He stays dead in the street like the dog he is. Somebody picked him up, they died. Then Dong's family, including his 90-year-old mother, were killed. So his entire lineage and any of his own people, they went after Dong Zuo, not just him, but everybody that ever was around him. Lu Bu would be killed 7 years later in 199 AD. So like Jesus says, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But for one brief moment, Lu Bu, the flying general, freed China of the tyranny of Dong Zuo. In 192 AD, Lu Bu stood tall, and he, got rid of an evil person. 1972, Ceylon becomes a Republic of Sri Lanka as its constitution is ratified. So now we don't have Ceylon anymore, Ceylon. Now we got the Republic of Sri Lanka. It's a nation. If there wasn't a Sri Lanka before 1972, now, because the Constitution's ratified, now there's a Sri Lanka. Not even UK's got a Constitution. 1809, on the second last day of the Battle of Aspern-Essling near Vienna, Austria, Napoleon is repelled by an enemy army for the first time. That happened in 1809, May 22nd. 1849, Abraham Lincoln gets a patent for a device that lifts boats up over the shoals and obstructions. So he was thinking of lifting boats up. So he got a patent, the only president to ever get a patent. 1888, Leroy Buffington patents a system to build skyscrapers. 1888, that was 1919, A.E. Douglas established the relative dates of 2 archaeological sites using ancient wood samples, marking a major step forward in dating archaeological sites. So A.E. Douglas, somehow he was able to measure the relative dates of 2 archaeological sites using ancient wood samples. Interesting. 1961, the first revolving restaurant was the Top of the Needle in Seattle opens. The first revolving restaurant in the top of a skyscraper opened in 1961. 1976, NASA launches space vehicle 179, May 22nd, 1455, you had the opening battle of England's 30-year War of the Roses, or Wars of the Roses. But War of the Roses, 30-year War of the Roses. That was actually 1455 is when the 30-year War of the Roses is going to begin. And it's the War of the Roses because you had the House of Lancaster represented by red roses and the House of York represented by the white roses. War of the Roses was a war between the House of Lancaster and the House of York. So the Battle of St. Albans is the opening battle, May 22nd, 1455. Richard, Duke of York, is going to take St. Albans. This is 22 miles north of London. He captures King Henry VI of England. King Henry VI of England is now deposed. In the very opening battle, in the very beginning, my God, the House of York, they can't lose the War of the Roses after beginning with such... They took all the power, right? Now Richard Duke is going to be the king, or whoever they want to be the king, because King Henry VI has now been deposed. So the White Roses win. The House of York beats the House of Lancaster at the Battle of St. Albans, May 22nd, 1455. Total decisive victory for the House of York, for the White Roses. And the Nevilles, you had the Earl of Salisbury and the Earl of Warwick. These are both, nobles or whatever. They had armies. Both were named Richard Neville. So I don't know if they were related or what, but one was also known as the Kingmaker. So the House of York, Richard, Duke of York, Earl of Salisbury, Earl of Warwick, Richard Neville, these are all the winners of the Battle of the St. Albans. And they defeated Henry VI. So the third Duke of York, also named Richard of York, right? Richard, Duke of York, and also Richard Plantagenet. So Richard Plantagenet, it's the Duke of York. He's the third Duke of York. That sounds so much better. His title is more impressive than his last name. But he's going to take Henry VI's thrones, and then York's rivals, Henry Percy, Earl of Northumberland, and Lord Clifford, all fell during the rout. So Edmund Beaufort, Duke of Somerset, he's going to get killed. So all the enemies of York's, Percy, Earl of Northumberland, Lord Clifford, Edmund Beaufort, Duke of Somerset, they're all, killed or knocked down, deposed. King Henry VI is captured. The Parliament names Richard of York the Lord Protector of the Kingdom of England. So initially, at first, the deposing of a monarch could very well be a revolutionary act. So they got rid of Henry VI. But now, how is Richard of York going to battle? So this is May 22nd, 1455, and this is just the beginning of the War of the Roses. So the White Roses were winning in the very first battle. So it tells me that they're not going to last for 30 years. So they didn't win that day. It looks like they won to me, right? Took out the king and installed their own king. So they took the power, right? And you can't really take much more power. But it's going to go on for 30 years. So it's got the beginnings of possible, revolutionary spirit. But, more research will tell. 1987 first ever Rugby World Cup kicks off with New Zealand playing Italy at Eden Park in Auckland, New Zealand. 1762 Tree Vie Fountain is officially completed and inaugurated in Rome. 1807 Townsend Speakman first sells fruit-flavored carbonated drinks in Philadelphia. Right? Grape soda and peach soda and lime and lemon. So fruit-flavored carbonated drinks. 1819 first steam-propelled vessel to cross the Atlantic Ocean. The Savannah leaves Georgia. 1807 is when we got the fruit-flavored drinks in Philadelphia by Townsend Speakman. May 22nd, 1246. So you're going to have a papal ban on Frederick, imposed by Pope Innocent IV in 1245, and declared that Conrad IV was deposed. This makes Henry Raspey change sides. Henry Raspey is going to be elected the anti-king of the Kingdom of Germany, May 22nd, 1246. Who is Henry Raspey? He's the anti-king. Now, he was also known as the priest king because the Pope, their power, Rome, whatever, the Catholic Church tried to help him get elected. But who knows? Is Conrad IV, is he the good man? Is Henry Raspey the good man? Henry Raspey is going to defeat Conrad IV in a battle, the Battle of Nidda. Conrad IV was the king of Germany, the king of Italy, king of the Romans at the time. But Henry Raspey defeated him at the Battle of Nidda in southern Hesse on August 1246. So just 1 month after Henry Raspey is elected the anti-king, isn't that a great-ass title? Who are you? I'm the anti-king. Good, you're an anti-monarchist. That's exactly right. I'm an anti-monarchist. And he defeated him, southern Hesse, August 1246, laid siege to Ulm, and Reutlingen suffered a mortal wound. He's going to die February 1246. So less than a year after being elected the anti-king of all the kingdom of Germany, he's given up his life and he's died in Wartburg Castle near Eisenach in Thuringia. Thuringia. That is not English. Anyways, Henry Raspey is succeeded by the anti-king William of Holland. So William of Holland is going to carry on Henry Raspey's, legacy, pick up his, baton and keep carrying it on. After Conrad IV's death, no ruler is going to manage to gain undisputed control over Germany until 20 years later in 1273 with the election of Rudolph of Habsburg as the king of the Romans. So was Conrad good? He brought stability. He brought stability, which they didn't have for 20 years after he had died. So he didn't pick a successor. So, who knows? It could go one way or the other. Henry Raspey, I like his title. He's the anti-king. And I'm inclined to believe that Henry Raspey, since he died for his cause, and Conrad IV, who's, who the fuck is Conrad IV? What the hell did he do that was so goddamn great? I'm inclined to believe that Henry Raspey is a better man than Conrad IV. More research may prove otherwise. The same year that Conrad IV had died, the king of the Romans, king of the Germans, king of the Italians, 1254 AD, May 22nd, the Serbian king Stefan Uros I. So Stefan Uros I and the Republic of Ragusa. I thought it was the Republic of Venice, but it's actually the Republic of Ragusa, which isn't even a republic anymore. It bordered the Hum. What nations are we talking about? Held by his kinsman Radoslav Andrijic. They signed a peace treaty. So the Serbian king Stefan Uros I and the Republic of Ragusa signed a peace treaty May 22nd, 1254. 1807, a grand jury is going to indict Aaron Burr on the charge of treason. 1807, Aaron Burr was tried for treason in Richmond, Virginia. Aaron Burr, who was nearly the third American president, tying with Thomas Jefferson in 1800. But instead, he's charged with invading Spanish lands, Texas and Mexico, which is ironic since he's like best friends with this Wilkinson, James Wilkinson, who is definitely a paid Spanish agent. So that could just be a bunch of horse shit, invading Spanish lands. But the big charge that Aaron Burr was tried for treason, the grand jury is going to indict him May 22nd, 1807, because he assembled an armed force who wanted to take New Orleans and all the West, creating a brand new nation west of the Atlantic states. So he's best friends with James Wilkinson, who's a paid Spanish spy, and he's sitting there pretending to, yeah, right, I bet Aaron Burr is a Spanish spy too, and he's trying to sit there and create his own goddamn nation. He's the one that killed Alexander Hamilton in 1804, so Aaron Burr almost became president, and then kills one of the founding fathers, and now he looks like he's, going to start his own country? So he's fucking America over. He was declared not guilty, but it seems clear as day that Aaron Burr was trying to fuck America over. 1816, a mob in Littleport, Cambridgeshire, England. There was riots that were happening May 22nd, 1816 in England. Littleport, Cambridgeshire. I mean, how humble, how quaint. Any of those Cambridgeshire, the Shire of the Cambridge at Littleport? The riots were concerning high unemployment and rising grain cost, and the riots spread to Ely the next day, or Ellie or Ely. So rising grain cost, high unemployment, riots, 1816. 1933, World Trade Day, National Maritime Day is first celebrated. 2002, you had some late justice, but justice postponed is at least some justice. 2002, a jury in Birmingham, Alabama convicts former Ku Klux Klan member Bobby Frank Cherry of the 1963 murders of the 4 girls and the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church. This is major. They bombed the Baptist church. 4 little girls died. So eventually somebody was held to account. Bobby Frank Cherry in 2002 was convicted of those murders. 2004, Fahrenheit 9/11 wins the Palme d'Or 57th Cannes Film Festival, the first documentary to win. 2018, Mark Zuckerberg questioned by members of European Parliament in Brussels. 1964, LBJ presents The Great Society. 1985, A View to Kill, the 14th installment of the James Bond series premieres. 1570, The Theater of the World Atlas is published by Abraham Ortelius, though that was mentioned in another day. So what's the specific date that happened, right? In 1570, so that's what, 13 years before the Gregorian calendar. We may never, ever actually know, but I heard it was like yesterday or 2 days ago. So 1377, Pope Gregory IX issues 5 papal bulls to denounce the stuff that John Wycliffe, a theologian, was saying. So the Pope is, issuing 5 major speeches to denounce whatever John Wycliffe was. You need to, whenever you hear about censorship, go read, that'll tell you everything you need to know about Pope Gregory IX. Just listen to what John Wycliffe was talking about. Who is John Wycliffe? What is he talking about? I don't know. But the fact that Pope Gregory sees that his viewpoints, his opinions, his perspectives is, threatening to his entire livelihood in 1377 AD makes me want to know what John Wycliffe was about. 1945, the 6th U.S. Marine Division reaches the suburbs of Naha, Okinawa. Because World War II, we need to defeat Japan and Mussolini in Germany. International Day today for Biological Diversity. Birthday of Arthur Conan Doyle. Other birthdays, 1772, Ram Mohan Roy, Indian philosopher. 1828, German ophthalmologist. Don't have his name. 1831, Henry Van Dyke Carter, English anatomist. 1849, Aston Webb, architect. 1868, Augusto Pestana, Brazilian engineer. 1879, Simone Petliura, Ukrainian independence leader. 1894, Frederick Pollock, philosopher. 1904, Lamb, Swedish electrical engineer and inventor. 1912, Herbert C. Brown, chemist, Nobel Prize laureate. 1917, George Aratani, a philanthropist. 1920, Thomas Gold, an astrophysicist. 1921, George S. Hammond, a scientist. 1926, George Andrew Olah, chemist, Nobel Prize laureate. 1930, Harvey Milk was born. 1932, Robert Spitzer, psychiatrist. 1933, Chen Jinggrun, Chinese mathematician, born. 1936, George H. Heilmeyer, U.S. engineers, born. 1943, Betty Williams, Northern Irish peace activist, Nobel Prize laureate, is born. 1946, Michael Green, physicist, is born. 1946, Andrei Marga, Romanian philosopher, is born. 1954, Shuji Nakamura, Japanese U.S. physicist, engineer, Nobel Prize laureate. 2015, Ireland legalizes gay marriage by popular referendum. 1994, worldwide trade embargo against Haiti goes into effect to punish its warlords for not reinstating the country's ousted leader, Aristide. 1992, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Slovenia joined the United Nations. And then 1848, slavery is abolished in Martinique. 1848, slavery is abolished. Happened a long time ago, but still, 13 years before America. So Martinique was more progressive than America in 1848. And that's all. That's May 22nd. So lots of shit, lots of great, fantastic things have happened May 22nd. Hopefully one of those things inspires you to go do great things. Never forget, you can never go higher than what you think. So always think great thoughts. 4:04 p.m. It's May 21st, 2020, the day before May 20th. I'm Jonathan Masters. Peace.